And it was just everywhere I went, the same story over and over again. I was there the week before Poland voted to join the European Union, so it was a very exciting time to be in Poland. And this confirmed the fact that why was it that in Czernivtsi, where I was elected, the largest single delegation of non-Ukrainian scholars at the Congress was the Polish delegation. So I think everything you've heard today and yesterday is confirmation of the great interest and great stake that Poles seem to feel they have in Ukraine's survival, not just survival, but prospering. And I think we've heard several times today and yesterday that Ukraine has no better friend in anywhere in terms of getting itself into NATO, first of all, and then the European Union somewhere down the road, than Poland. You also heard Boris Tarasyuk say it's time for Ukraine to do its part. It would be good if there were chairs of Polish history in Ukraine. We heard from Frank Sisson that that's not the case, that although there are many chairs of Ukrainian history and literature and language, there are not the same numbers in Ukrainian universities, and that's something we, as an academic community, might try to help influence. Then there was, I also went across the street across the University of Warsaw to the Księgarnia Bolesława Prusa, and found again a whole stack of books on Ukraine, Belarus, Litva, but particularly what struck me was the Ukrainian books. So I think there's no doubt on the side of from academics that that Poland and Ukraine have an important relationship. Now there are a couple other relationships that form the context of those relationships, or shape the context, and then we need to keep those in mind too and think about possible futures there as well. We heard a great deal from both Andrzej Nowak and Jarosław Paleński about the legacy of Kultura and Giedroyc in changing Polish views toward Ukraine. And then there's a little bit farther east another country where such a transformation has not happened, Russia. There's been no Giedroyc that I know of in Russia to change the views of Russians toward Ukraine, to treat them as more equal partners, to deal with them on more equal levels. And given the recent trends in Russia toward a more authoritarian regime under Putin and the last elections reaffirming his consolidation over power in Russia, and a kind of neo-imperialist policy coming from those elites that had been consolidated. I guess what I want to say here is there's a certain inevitability we treat Russia's continuing decline into authoritarianism and neo-imperialism. And I'm wondering, after the very uplifting story of Krzysztof Stanowski and the number of NGOs that are helping to transform both Polish and Ukrainian civic culture, if they might adopt Russia as a chefstvo partner in order to get away from some of this inevitable thinking that Russia is Muscovite absolutism, never to be avoided. And I know it's probably a little utopian, but it seems that NGOs in this field are utopian anyway, so why not take on an even bigger cause? Especially because I think in light of the last two speakers, although I don't think America is willfully pushing Ukraine toward Russia, and would never admit to doing so, and certainly it's not in our interest to do so. I think the diversion of attention toward Iraq and the Middle East now endangers American attention and erodes, distracts American attention from East Central Europe, whether that's Poland or Ukraine, and that by its omission, America will help push Ukraine toward Russia, not by any willful. And I unfortunately don't have nearly the faith that Mr. Naimski seems to have in the vision and sustainability and consistency of our current administration. I'm, as an American citizen, for the most part, very alarmed about our current foreign policy all over the world, and feel that it's more likely that Poland and Ukraine will be treated, as has been mentioned a couple of times, as vassals and as useful puppets whenever necessary to send some troops to the latest regime.